Welcome back everybody to the channel. This week I have been driving this 2025 GR Corolla. Now this is probably my favorite hot hatch available on the market. I mean, it competes directly, obviously, or sort of directly with the Golf R, but you can also say that it competes with a Civic Type R and an Hyundai Elantra, and it keeps up with those just driving and just experience-wise very, very well. I mean, it is such a good looking hot hatch. I've actually had people tell me that they didn't realize that Toyota made Corollas that looked this good. Now I've also got it in its automatic transmission variant. It does come in both manual and automatic. New for 2024 and 25 is actually the automatic. And I gotta tell you right now, it does a really, really good job at just being an automatic vehicle. It still feels like a race car, and obviously it still looks the race car. So I'm going to show you absolutely everything you need to know about this thing. I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and of course POV drive. Let's get into it. So as usual, we are nice and in the sun here. It's hot out. Perfect element, sort of, for the Toyota GR Corolla. I say sort of because this thing has, you know, some heating stuff going on, right? It tells me when I start the vehicle to be careful with heavy acceleration because of temperature. So it doesn't want to be pushed right away. But you can see the front end vents have been slightly reworked to allow more airflow to the engine and to the coolant systems. So that's good news. It still looks aggressive. It's still got those fender flares on the left and right here as well. Really aggressive lighting setup as well. The GR badge right there. I do have parking sensors. Doesn't look great with that front plate, I will say that, but if I was to buy it in Quebec here, I wouldn't need that, so that's good news. We do also have kind of like a hood bulge. You can see it right here, and I have actual vents here that actually work. I also like how there's like a thin line on the hood there. There's like a slight front paint protection there. So when you are ripping on the track, there is some type of protection. It seems like that does come from the factory. But overall, a really aggressive looking front end, a really good looking front end, even in this gray paint color. I think this car looks good in any paint color because of just how aggressive it looks. Like whether I'm from far or close, it looks really cool. So now taking a look under the hood for the GR Corolla, we get a 1.6 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, or inline 3, that's producing 300 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. Of course, we have the all-wheel drive because this is GR4. I have the 8-speed automatic transmission, like I said, but it does come in the manual variant. Now I also do get a front and rear limited slip diff, which makes this race car even more engaging to drive. As tested price, this is where people probably will have the biggest problem, and honestly I have to agree, $61,000 Canadian. I mean, this thing is fast, it's engaging, but feature wise and interior wise, which you'll see in a second, 61's a lot to ask. So next we come on to the side profile, where everything is just perfect. It's the right size rims, it's the right size vehicle for what it wants to be. You've got the fender flares that look good. You've got the black on the mirror caps there as well. The red brake calipers, blacked out rims look decent on this one too with the gray paint. It just looks like track ready, and that's what you want, right? We've got the GR brake calipers right in there. I noticed the brake pads though really do produce quite a bit of dust, like really a lot, and I've been wiping these wheels and doing what I can to make them clean, but yeah, there's a lot of dust on these guys. But an actual vent right here, a GR badge right below there, one-touch lock and unlocking doors for the front. The rear door is like small because it's a small vehicle, but honestly, hop in the driver's seat and you're not really going to mind. So side profile is all good. Looking at the roof though, check this out. This isn't dirt or dust, although it might look like it from the naked eye. This is a forged carbon fiber roof, so very lightweight roof, very cool. Not necessarily sure if that's alone is worth the $60K price tag, but there it is. And then we come to the back, a really nice looking rear end here, super clean looking, super aggressive looking. This is where you can really see it has like a fat rear end, you know, just to keep it PG. And then we got the GR Corolla, really nice aggressive tail lights as well, a big diffuser, triple exhaust with a big boy in the middle, and it doesn't sound too bad. It's a little hatchback that makes its presence absolutely known, and I love it for it. Last but not least, you do have the backup camera, and we'll take a look at the trunk space. Not something you're gonna wanna, you know, gonna do your groceries and stuff like that, but maybe it won't fit my child's stroller. It's not necessarily something that you know, you're going to put a lot of stuff in, and you kind of expect that when you drive it. You know it's small but fast. This is more, you're going to fit, maybe you can fit your racing helmet and your racing suit here, take it to the track maybe with a lunchbox, and that's all you need, and it will be absolutely excellent for that. So that's no complaints there. So that's going to do it for my take on the exterior of the GR Corolla. What a machine, what a good looker. But there's more to go over. Let's hop inside. We're gonna start with the rear, and then we're gonna go up to the front, and then right after all that, POV drive. Make sure you like and subscribe right now if you wanna see more videos just like this one. Let's do it. All right, so as usual, up first is the rear for our GR Corolla. And let me tell you now, not a lot of space to work with here. Not a lot of space to get in. It is a very small rear end, but I've made it work, and you'll see in a second here. So we've got kind of the nice cup holder right there. Not much going on in terms of material split. We do have like this nice red trim here. The seats do have good rear trim as well, and they have like, they're not like your average seat, right? Like they do have some indentation in them. You can kind of sit back into them, which is really good and important because when the you know, the driver's ripping it around, you know, you want somewhere for your body to go, and that's good. So let's see. I don't have that much space here to work with, so let's see how I fit in. This is behind my driver profile. And you know, let's just see. So it's squished, and you know, basically it's not comfortable just because I have my seat really far back because it's the way I drive. I'm 5'11" for reference, and I'm absolutely in the driver's back. I mean, I'm just absolutely right there. No rear vents, but it is cool enough back here. It's a hot day, so it's a good day to evaluate that. You can see there's not a lot of storage. You can see I don't have like a armrest or anything there, so I kind of got to put my stuff in the back here for filming. Baby seat fits about just about fits. I think it would be slightly easier if she was forward facing, but here we are. She's rear facing right now, so we just make do with it, and that means that the front passenger does lose a little bit. But this is more of a sports car, right? You're not really going to be putting kids in here all the time. We do have this guy that's going to fold down as well. No problems there. The baby seat does kind of get in the way of it a little bit, but yeah, doable if you have kids. Absolutely doable. I've got like enough headroom, which is good. That's always really nice to have enough space for your old head, because there's no sunroof or anything like that. But yeah, you do have to make it work, but definitely doable, and but definitely not a place I'd want to spend time long term. I'd prefer to be in the driver's seat, so let's hop up there. All right, so next up, as usual, is our front seat for the GR Corolla. A little bit of the same stuff here. We've kind of got the trim right here, plastic, and you know, kind of like piano black here on the door. But the seats are really, really nice. You can see the GR logo, as well as you got some nice bolstering. They're quite comfortable bucket seats. The other thing is they are manually adjusted, right? Because we can't have any additional weight. So I guess putting in, you know, power supported seats would add weight to stuff. So we just have this, and it's still really nice looking, gets a good interior look. But let's actually hop in. It's much easier to do so in the front seat. Got a ton of room, obviously, because I'm basically driving it almost from the back seat here. So once you're sitting inside the driver's seat, very nice view, very kind of familiar Toyota view, other than like the gauge cluster. I like the steering wheel, a bunch of physical buttons. It's definitely small enough. Here, let me turn this down so you're not getting blasted with the air along with me here. But GR logo. We do have plastic paddle shifters, which in a sporty vehicle, I would have maybe liked to see something metallic, maybe something a little bit more like clicky, I don't know. But it definitely does the job. Quick transmission for, you know, your stuff, because I do have, like I said, the automatic version. So all the way to the left-hand side, we have our automatic high beams, the trips, the heated steering wheel, and also we do have a heated windshield, which is pretty interesting for the winter and stuff like that. And then we have illumination controls right there. Then onto the digital gauge cluster. You can see I have a couple of different, I guess, themes or, you know, like layouts that you can go with. You can also customize what's on the left, right, and center, and then it'll also change based off what drive mode I'm in. So this is normal, and then this is, you know, sport and custom kind of have the same one. And you can hear my active exhaust get way louder when I do go into sport mode. Very cool. A very nice gauge cluster, quite quick, quite responsive as well, so no complaints there. Moving right over, this is a very small interior, so there's not a lot to go over. There's also not a lot of features here in this infotainment display, right? You've got your wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, built-in navigation should you need it. Got some car settings here. Got some general settings for your JBL sound system. Yeah, it's not good. You know, it's about the equivalent. I don't know which one's better, the Beats audio system in the Volkswagen or the JBL in this. they're both no good, and they both should never have happened. There it is. But the good thing is, at least with the GR Corolla, you don't really care about the sound system, because most of the time you're listening to the engine rip around, so that's, not really a huge negative. But anyways, this is very simple. It's very much just like a plug and drive, plug and play, hop in, put it in drive, let's go, especially since we have the automatic. That's exactly what you're going to do with it. But yeah, it's got all the basic stuff. There's really nothing complicated in here. It's simple, and it's kind of the new standard Toyota infotainment, very usable. All of our controls for the HVAC are all physical. It's a dual zone automatic climate control, which is very nice to have here. Small cabin, like I said, so not a huge deal. Then we do have some like old style switches for our heated seats, which I'm absolutely not turning on now. Do have a wireless charging pad. My drive mode selector is right down here. Standard shifter, no gimmicks, no tricks, no nothing. It's simple. It does kind of like, because there's no armrest, and it's really, really weird not having an armrest. I only realized this week how much I actually use the center armrest when I'm driving around. So not having it makes it a little strange, but we got used to it. We got the manual parking brakes, which is cool. But you can see it was kind of oriented to be a manual. They just kind of threw the automatic in here. But we do have our little push, or little GR4 thing. So for gravel, you can turn it, and then I can push it in for track and then back to normal, because it will control our stability. Decent enough dash. I mean, there's not a lot of colors to split this thing up. Like, there's no like red embedded in the dash. You can see it's just black on black stitching right here. There is a little bit in the door. The seats are really what kind of saves the interior, at least for me anyways, because like this is plastic up here. At least the headliner is colored. It's not that basic beige thing sometimes you see in the cars, so that's good. But for 60 grand, it would have been nice to see like maybe a bit more upscale, maybe a bit of carbon fiber. I don't know. Am I complaining for nothing? I mean, I don't know, but I just feel like 60 grand, I definitely shouldn't have to put up with a JBL speaker. And there should be some type of like, give me something, a little something extra, just to show me that I'm not, I don't just have like a boosted engine in a regular Corolla. I know the exterior is phenomenal, looks really, really good. When you look at the interior, it's like, well, I feel like I'm still missing a little bit. I think we're almost there. If you're gonna charge me $60K, you gotta give me a little bit more. But that's my thoughts, at least for the interior. So let me know what you think. If you own one of these things, how do you find it living with it? But you're just a single guy or single girl, whatever it is. You got a family, whatever. Let me know. Let me know your ownership reviews. I'm really curious to hear from you guys. And with that being said, let me strap that GoPro to my forehead, and let's get to the fun part. Let us absolutely drive this thing. Let's go. All right, so on the road now, got the GoPro on my forehead. We're driving the GR Corolla. What a time it is to be driving. It's nice out. It's not going to be nice out all week, so unfortunately, if you're watching the week with stuff later on, you're going to see some rainy footage, unfortunately. So I got one little break here where the sun's coming out, the roads are dry, and it is warm. So we can have a little bit of fun. Look, it is quick. Look, on paper, the Golf R is faster. The Type R is faster. On the track, both of those vehicles, you know what? They're probably faster. That's the reality of it. But neither one are as fun and feel like a race car nearly as much as this here GR Corolla does. This vehicle feels and just performs incredibly. Just waiting for some traffic to clear up here. We'll give it a little bit of beams here. Woo! Yeah, that's second gear. That's like, basically as much speed as I could do on the street, as much of a pull as I could give you on the street without getting in trouble, or without getting the cops called on me, because it is ridiculously quick. It's one of these vehicles that it has 300 horsepower, it's got enough torque, and it's got enough noise that people know you're there, they know your presence is there. It's enough that it's probably going to get you in trouble if you're not being careful, but it can also be fun at the same time. Handling is exceptional. I mean, just exceptionally good, right? Like, it turns in really quick. You can have some really fast corners. This thing on the track would be an absolute little weapon, an absolute little riot to drive. I mean, just on the streets and like just a windy back road is really good. And I mean, using this thing as a daily driver, that's where like it compares it to something like the Golf R. It's going to fail because the Golf R is a better daily driver that can also be, fun enough on the track or in a windy road. The GR Corolla is more focused to just being a race car all the time, and you just live with it like that. And there's so much of me that just appreciates it for that. Like it's it's fun on the windy road, fun on the track. You maybe get punished a little bit for daily driving it. You can absolutely do it, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can run my groceries to it. I've been back and forth to the office with it. Absolutely no worries. And I mean, whether I'm in sport mode or track mode, I mean, whatever, on this here, it just feels super good. Another tight corner here. I felt a big bump there, though, right through my body. It feels like an all-wheel drive go-kart. That's the way that I've been describing this thing to anybody that asks or anybody that will listen. This is an all-wheel drive go-kart, and it feels like it, the way it bounces you around, the things that it does, the way the suspension behaves, but I feel so connected to the road. I mean, I feel absolutely everything in this thing. I mean, I just feel it all, and you can hear the blow-off from the turbo, too. It's just so special. And it's not an experience that comes around, that often, even nowadays. Things are getting more electric. There's less connection with your vehicle. But the first time I took this thing out on the road, driving it off the parking lot, it was like, oh, I get it. And I was instantly connected with the GR Corolla. It's something that very few vehicles have been able to do. None of the electric cars have ever done it. It's always been in a gas car. So that's happened, again, in things like the Elantra N. It's happened to me in the Type R, the Acura TLX, or not the TLX, but the Acura Integra Type S, and then the Golf R. You instantly drive those cars, and you're like, oh, I get it. I get why everybody loves them, and I get why it turns so many heads, and I get why it's so fun, and I just want to drive it, especially in, like, summer conditions. It's warm out. Oh, man, just, throw the shorts on. Right now I got pants, so I'm sweating, but throw the shorts on, take the window down, put on some music. That's the only place where it's missing because we're subjected to this no good JBL. It's the same thing with, like, the Beats audio. They do that, too, in the Volkswagen stuff. It's gross. I hate it. Please change it. Give us, like, I think maybe even the basic Toyota one would have been better than this. But anyways, the good thing is like, you don't even need music. You could just roll the windows down and listen to the blow-off of the turbos, listen to the loud exhaust, rip it around, feel the air. It's so good for that. And you just feel the road. Like, I love, like, I'm probably still at an age where my spine could take a little bit of a beating, and it absolutely is taking the beating, but it's just so much fun. Visibility is good too. I've got enough, I'm small. It's easy to park in tight spaces, which is very cool too. Like, whenever I pick up my daughter from daycare, it's always a thing. It's always, parallel parking and people parking too close. I don't worry about that with this GR Corolla. But it also has a manual mode where you'll take control with the paddle shifter. So I can give it a little, and it absolutely lets me go. I mean, it will let you redline with the paddle shifters on. And I feel like when you're on the track, it's probably the one you're going to want to do, because I still think that the Golf R's transmission is probably a little bit more snappy, a little bit more responsive, whereas the GR Corolla's gets confused sometimes. Like, it'll hold the gear, or sometimes I'll want it to downshift so like I could get the engine braking, because it really does that well too. It really engine brakes really hard and aggressive, and I like that. But it just gets confused, and it kind of stays in the gear too long. Like, it stays in third when I really should be in second. It kind of like, it's like, oh, what do I do? But eventually it figures it out, whereas the Golf R is not really like that. It's very snappy, very quick. But if you pop it in manual mode, like you just saw me do, very easy to do as well. There's no complicated buttons or anything to do that. Then, it's going to be fine, because then you have complete control. You tell it what to do, and it's a quick response. It's a quick upshift, a quick downshift, or whatever it is. It's really quick to the boop. It reacts very quickly, and I like that. So yeah, I mean, in conclusion, look, there's the cars that it's classed in are faster than it on paper, are probably faster than it on the track, but they are not more fun to drive when it comes to the hot hatch. Like, I'm talking, specifically about the Golf R. The Golf R is not more fun to drive than the GR Corolla. I'll take that to the grave. You won't change my mind. The Golf R still has a lot of work to do, I think, to feel more like a race car. That's what I want, and we're not stuck with this garbage infotainment display. Like, this in the Toyota, you jump in and you drive it and you experience it. The Volkswagen Golf R, it's just the infotainment sucks, the HVAC, there's no physical buttons. Throw that all out, and then maybe we'll talk. But for now, this feels more like the race car. This is the car I want to be on a windy road, and I don't care if, on paper, the other guys are faster. But of course, as always, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about the GR Corolla? You think it has its place? Hopefully it never goes electric. Hopefully it stays. What do you think about it being in automatic? You prefer the manual? Which one are you taking over the two? Or are you like me and just give me any one, manual, automatic? It's going to be a fun experience either way. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I absolutely love this GR Corolla. It's expensive, yes. I wish for the price there was more, maybe a little bit more luxury stuff. I don't want adaptive dampers. I'm just talking about like material, maybe a bit more carbon fiber, maybe a wing, or I don't know, something. Just give you a little bit more to justify that 60 grand price point. But the experience alone is really, really good, especially here in the summer in Quebec. Oh man, what a time. But make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. If you want to see me do GR related stuff, or just more Toyota stuff in general, more performance Toyota, you gotta give me as much power as I can take to Toyota to tell them, look, people loved when I did the GR Corolla. How about the GR Supra? With that being said, I'll see you in the next week, see you in the next car. Take care.